Today we celebrate Pope St. Gregory the Seventh. He sought to reform the church. Born in Tuscany around 1025, his original name was Hildebrand. They think his father may have been a carpenter. His mother's name is unknown. His uncle was the abbot of a monastery in Rome. Sent to school run by his uncle's monastery, he entered a world of discipline and fervent devotion. After his primary education, entered religious life as a monk, served as a chaplain. In 1046, he left Rome for... where do you think he went? He went to Cologne, along with Gratian, who was forced to leave Rome and resign from the papacy. After the former pope's death, Hildebrand left for France and spent more than a year at the monastery in Cluny. In 1049, he made the acquaintance of Bruno of Toul, who would soon become Pope Leo IX. Under his reign, Hildebrand was put in charge of a historic monastery, which he rescued from structural and administrative ruin. He served Leo IX as an advisor until the Pope's death in 1054, an important year. In 1073, he was finally elected as Pope Gregory VII, though he still didn't want the office. His electors praise him as a devout man, mighty in human and divine knowledge. He had overwhelming challenges to confront him, including scandalous corruption among the clergy, a schism between the churches of Rome and Constantinople, and the struggle against civil rulers who think that they had the right to choose the church's clergy. In March of 1074, he promulgated a sweeping set of reforming decrees. These met with widespread opposition, but the Pope stood his ground. The resulting standoff pitted him against the German Emperor Henry IV, who sought to depose the Pope when threatened with excommunication. But the Pope carried out his threat and declared that the Emperor's subjects were no longer bound to obey him. The Emperor in 1077 was forced to come before the Pope as a penitent, spent 3 days waiting in the snow before he was received and given the conditions of his reconciliation. Though temporarily reconciled, Henry was excommunicated for later attacks, which included supporting a rival pope and invading Rome. I loved justice and hated iniquity, therefore I die in exile. That's what he said when he was attacked by the enemy and forced to flee Rome in 1084. Remembered as a champion of the church's freedom against state intrusion, he was canonized by Benedict XIII in 1728. So there you go, Pope St. Gregory, a man who stood up to everybody because he was representing Christ. He hated iniquity and loved justice, just like we should do.